Waffle, waffle, waffle.
Hello and welcome to Die Rollin. I'm the ever excitable Adam, and today it brings me great pleasure to talk to you about Damnation The Gothic Game by Black Letter Games. This is a game you might have seen on the channel before. You might have seen our how to play video as well, where I go through the entire rules for you. Which, I don't do many how to play videos, but I really enjoy sitting down and working my way through this. This is a 1v many. This is an all against all kind of battle royale in Dracula's castle. You play a villain and you're surrounded by villains, and the whole point is to be the last villain standing. Now, I said Dracula's castle. He's in the game. There is a vampire in here, and not only is the vampire thirsty, you can become the vampire. If you can get into that kind of vault before anybody else, yeah, you're going to come back and start draining people's blood. Let's talk about the first thing that strikes me about this game, the artwork. The artwork is absolutely gorgeous. It's the most thematic kind of artwork I've seen in a long time. It really draws you into the game. It really has a lovely art style that is unique to this game, and it's just beautiful. I can't kind of praise it enough, really. What's lovely about this as well is the artwork goes throughout the game. The board itself is beautiful, and if you see this box and you don't want to play the game, then or at least look at it from the artwork, then what is wrong with you? So the game itself is fully competitive, which some people might not enjoy, but so many times you're playing cooperative games these days, or 1v many games. It's nice to just have a game where you just actively trying to beat each other up or kill each other in this case. So I quite enjoy the fact this is a kind of take that game, which you can feel very, you can get quite angry about, but in a lovely game playing way. I played this game a couple of months ago, I think, with the offline gamer, and I was pushed down some stairs to my death in the game. So it's a game that you will play, and you'll definitely have stories coming out of it, of the time when Matt pushed me down the stairs, or Karen stabbed Matt in the back, or someone claimed the power of adjacency, which I'll get to because that is so much fun. If you like trolling, this game can be very enjoyable. It's also it's also a roll to move game. Now, rolling to move in this day and age is kind of frowned upon, mainly because people like to know how many movement spaces they're doing, and they don't like to have the randomness of a dice. Now, in this game, there is a additional dice you can be rolling, and that dice you're rolling is going to be having various effects on you. It can increase or decrease the value of your dice. It can also trigger traps that you move over rather than just landing on them like normal. It can also cause events to happen, which could be good or bad. Let's take a look into this. So, the rulebook's pretty good. It's got one of those nice things where it talks about the rooms on there, and all the kind of the iconography, because that is something that is important in this game. It's also something I'd highly recommend checking out before you begin the game, before you begin playing, is the hints and tips for how to play it. It's really handy first time playing this, reading that, because you may not realize that the staircase I mentioned can be a one-way trip for many people. The rules themselves, I think, are laid out fantastic, and I've kind of note out there are several bits which can be easy to miss in these kind of black boxes. Now, they did kind of stand out when I point them out, but when you're reading through the rules, sometimes, I don't know about you, but I can kind of glaze over the rules sometimes, and I know when I was first looking through this, several times I skipped past these things, and then was messaging the creator and saying, hey, what happens in this instance? And they're like, it's on page 11, and I'll look there and be like, where? And they're like, in the black box. Oh, yeah, idiot. The rule book, like I say, is very well done. Just keep an eye out for those black boxes, because they might answer some questions that you will have. I feel like all the questions you might have are in that rule book somewhere. But if you do have questions about this game in general, then please leave comments in the comments below, and myself or the guy who made it, if he looks at this video, will come back and let you know the answer. So I mentioned a glorious board, and it does have a glorious board. There's a nice kind of 6-folded board here. Let's turn this around. So here is Dracula's castle, and it is just lovely. The artwork on this is fantastic. Now, it's the same artwork that you have on all the characters and stuff. Just the style is so, yeah, it's beautiful. It's also got some special rooms on there. It tells you about them on there as well. So it tells you what they do. And yeah, it's just a very well put together board, and looks great. Easy to put away as well. And it's got, I played this game several times, and it's still, the board is not kind of coming apart. When you get those kind of like trifold or whatever kind of folding boards, sometimes they can lose a bit of their integrity if you use them a lot. Like my Lords of Hellas board or my Nemesis board, both of them take a lot of damage because there's just, you know, the amount of times I play the game and unfold them. So there is a board for the vampire. If you become the vampire, you get some special abilities. But the artwork on these are just so lovely, so thematic. It really draws you in. And then we have all of the player boards as well. So the player boards have your character, some abilities that belong to everyone, as well as some special abilities. And once again, that lovely artwork. And on the back, if you do die in this game, you're not out to begin with. You can manage to interact with other people in the game. Now, that's one thing that's always kind of a bit tricky to deal with when you're playing games with player elimination. What happens to the player who is eliminated? You can play this game up to 8 players. And I know that in the first half an hour or 45 minutes, if I was to be taken out, I might feel a bit bored sitting around waiting for everyone else to die. So being able to interact with the board in ways is pretty fun. It's really interesting being able to do that because, yeah, rather than just sitting there and waiting. So I think that's a really good idea with the player animation of this, that you can actually still affect the game, and there's a slim chance you can actually come back to life as well. Let's talk about these glorious foil kind of cards here. So these are death knell cards, and what happens in the game is basically when somebody dies, you're going to be flipping one of these things over, and it affects the game in a different way. So for instance, the creature can appear, and with this, villains entering the moat are slain, and various traps will send you to the moat. So it makes the game very dangerous when it comes to traps going forward. Then we've got a blood moon. The vampire may add a d6 to their movement total each time. Just lots of really fun, different kind of cards, and there's a ton of them to play with, and lovely backs to them as well. The actual characters themselves are acrylic tokens, so that lovely artwork is on there. And what's even better is they are, you get the front side of them as well as the back. They didn't need to do that. They didn't need to do that, but they did. So I mentioned roll to move. One thing I want to talk to you about is the power of adjacency. This is a really harsh thing that happens in the game. So with power adjacency, what basically happens, if you manage to land next to somebody, rather than like fighting or something like that, you can just go, I claim power of adjacency. What that means is when they roll their dice next turn, you get to decide where they go. So if you've managed to get that creature come out from that death knell card, and they are going to move onto a trap, if they go a particular direction, then you can move them onto that trap and hopefully send them to the moat, killing them. It's really fun. The power adjacency is one of the harshest things you can do, like send someone down a spiral staircase to their death. So yeah, every room has their own kind of deck of cards, which has lovely kind of artwork on front and back. I'm pretty certain none of these cards are duplicates. They're all different. A ton of different rooms in here, a ton of different locations to go through. Different rooms have different cards. If you've played this game several times, you start to know which rooms have the best weapons, which rooms are more deadly, which rooms are best in certain situations, which rooms to kind of lure people into. The dice you get in this are lovely red and black kind of dice, and you also get your kind of castle dice, which has all the different events and things that can happen on there. You get a ton of tokens in here. And also the haunt cards, which you can play these to basically come back in the game or affect the games in particular ways. What do I like about this game? Well, everything. It's the production values in this are so good. It's lovely to kind of see it, play it. Yeah, it's just generally just fantastic fun. It's great to go up against other people. I play so many co-op games these days that actually just playing a traditional rolling to move, stabbing people in the face or back, and it's just lovely to do that at this day and age, just to play a game where you're all against each other. It's definitely a game that you can make enemies in, but like in a lovely way. And it's so thematic. This is a game that I highly recommend playing Halloween. Halloween comes along, you get a bunch of people together, get some drinks, get this game out and just have at it. Just absolutely, yeah, kill each other. You could definitely get a regular game of this going and seeing how you get on. And thematically, it works that if if you keep playing this game again and again, thematically it works because all these villains are in limbo. So every night they're waking up in this castle, killing each other, just to wake up the very next day in the castle, killing each other. There's an expansion of this as well, which brings in a bunch of other kind of lovely cards and characters and stuff. But yeah, highly recommend checking out Damnation The Gothic Game. We've been wanting to do this on the channel, but I want to do it with more than just like 3 people. I'd love to do this with a really big player count. I did sit down with the offline gamer and we filmed a session of this, but the sound was awful, so I couldn't actually use it in the end. But yeah, we will be filming some actual content on this so you guys can see this in action. Because yeah, it definitely deserves to be played. It's so much fun. Hopefully I can get some of the content creators involved so they can also show off this game in its glory, because yeah, it's just fun. And yeah, that's about it for Damnation The Gothic Game. Lovely artwork, really interesting gameplay, and just a really fun take that kind of game. Definitely a favourite of mine. Definitely one I think everyone should give a go, just because it's very fun and just really thematic. And thematic games to me are the best kind of games. So yeah, if you'd like to see us play some Damnation The Gothic Game, put it in the comments below, but we will be doing it at some point on the channel once we've got the right amount of people together to do it. But yeah, that's about it really. If you've been enjoying our little deep dives into various different kind of games, let me know any games you know that I have on my shelf that you'd love to see me talk about or go into more detail about. Stay tuned to the channel because we've got a ton of content coming out. We'll hopefully be filming some Uprising soon. We've got Dungeons of Doria, which we're hoping to get together to play, some ISS Vanguard. Hopefully Will's put it up at this point, but it depends on when this video drops. But hopefully Will has finished the very first ISS Vanguard. And we do have Oathsworn, which I started filming that, and it's in the edit, as well as some Dead by Daylight, and lots of role-playing games coming out. If you'd like to play some of the role-playing games with us, let us know in the comments below as well. We'll try and sort that out. But anyway, I'm the ever excitable Adam, and until next time, stay safe or die rolling.